Hello guys, in this tutorial we are going to learn how to use our Flutter GetX state management to create a flawless authentication system. So it's going to be an authentication system where users can actually log in with their credentials. For the first part, we'll be looking how to use Laravel and Laravel passports to create an API that allows users to register on this authentication system. Then we'll proceed to creating the front end of the mobile app and also integrating the front end with the API. So in this segment or in this part of this tutorial, we'll be focusing on how to actually log in users and register users with the Google, that's the Gmail. So I'll let you have a walkthrough on the overflow of how the app is going to look like and how it's going to work. So this is the front end of the app, so this is it. So you can click on the get started to go to the registration part. Then this is the registration part. Then you can also click on sign in to go to the login part. So you can just come here and click on this Google icon here, and it's going to log in the user using their Google account. So the user have to choose which of the Google account they want to use if they have several accounts. So let's click on this. So it's going to try and load up details. That's fetch user data from Google directly. So after fetching users data, it's going to go to the back end and save this user data and give user access to the dashboard. That's afterwards fetching the data from Google. So basically that is how this app is going to work. So we are going to learn a lot of new skill and new stuff in this video. So I'd love you to stick around till the end so you'll be able to benefit fully from this tutorial. So this is just an overview. So let's go straight up to coding the API, which is the back end first, before we go straight up to the front end. So guys, in this section we'll be learning how to create our APIs. That's the API we're going to be using on our mobile app. So for us to create this API, we're making use of Laravel. So Laravel is a PHP framework. So most times I use Laravel on my projects. So it's very easy for you to want to learn how to start using. So basically this is the documentation of Laravel. So let me just go back. So this is the home page, laravel.com. This is the official website of Laravel. So the reason why I'm coming to this place, I want us to learn how to build this thing step by step. Like I said, this course is for beginners, so I want us to learn how to do this thing step by step, so we're able to go through the whole process together. So I will come to this Laravel homepage, official website of Laravel. We'll be going to the documentation. So first what we're going to do is we're going to learn how to install Laravel. So there are two ways of installing Laravel. That are using your composer. So you come down here, you see. So they are using composer, or we are using the Laravel new to create it. So if you currently don't have a composer on your system, you can install composer. Then after installing composer, then you can run this command: composer global require Laravel installer to install Laravel on your local machine. For me, I already have Laravel installed on my local machine, so I don't have to run this again, but I can just click on Windows arrow to my command line and just copy this and place this there. I already have this though. I already have this. So as you can see, waiting to stop because I already have this on my local machine already. So I haven't done that. So for you, if you don't have a composer, this might give you an error. So you can just install composer, go to your browser and click search for install composer. Then you can download the composer. As you can see you can download the composer. Let's go down here. Okay, as you can see there are different different stuff here. So if you want to download your composer, you can come here and
get your compose and what download. You can what download this. There's this composer setup.exe. Once you click on this now, as you can see it's about to download, but I don't have to do this. So after downloading it, you can what install it. But I already have this already, so I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. So what I'm going to do next is I'll come down and what create a new Laravel project. So let us open my same again, but I want this to be somewhere in my project. Okay, this is where I want this. Let me close this. I want it to be here, so I can close this now. So I just write Laravel new, let's call it web API tutorial. Okay, let's call it this. And okay, we don't need any starter kits. We don't need any starter kits, so you can put 0 for this. So this will create what Laravel for you using what the latest version, which is what Laravel 11.5. that's the latest version of Laravel. So this is going to create a Laravel project for us. So let us give this some time for it to create the project and download everything it needs to download. So after that, I'll come back. So let me just pause the video at this point. So after it downloading everything, I'll come back and we'll continue from there. So that's finished what downloading. So it's asking us what database would like. Let's use MySQL. It's okay, my SQL. Don't want to run the migration. No, I shouldn't run migration yet. So it is what's uploading. So for this page, you can still run your migration if you want to, but I don't want to run my migration yet. The reason why I don't want to run my migration yet is because I want to also install Laravel Passport. So it's going to be the Laravel API we are going to be using, which is Laravel Passport. That's Laravel Passport package. That's what we're using for our APIs. So I don't want to run the migration yet because I want to run the migration after I would installed the Laravel Passport. So as you can see, it has been done. So what we'll do next is let's seed into this project. What did we even call it? I think we call it web API tutorial. So let's seed into that. So we can run this now with PHP at 6 and okay, this should not work. This will not work yet. Let me just run it, but it should not work. This should not work. If we try to copy that link now, that's this. We come to our browser and write that this and enter it. This should not work. So I want the stuff to load up. So I will explain the reason why it's not working to you. So it should bring some errors here. As you can see, it's bringing this error currently. Yeah. So the reason why it's bringing this error, as you can see, no connection made because target machine actively refused it. So the reason is because our server is currently not running. You get, though it's showing server running on this port, this place here, our server is not yet on. That's why, as you can see, said no connection made because target machine actively refused it. So we are going to make use of our XAMPP as what our local server. So this is what my XAMPP. This is not my XAMPP. So if you have not installed XAMPP, you can still go to your browser and download XAMPP, download it and install it. So I already have that, so I won't go through that step now. So what I have to do is start my XAMPP and my Apache and my SQL both. So I'm going to start both and try to run this again. So this should give me an error now. So as you can see, it's having a different error because it said unknown database. Remember, we didn't run our migration back then. So because we didn't run our migration, the database currently is what unknown. So we have to create this database. But I don't want to do that now. Like I said before, I want to first of all install my passport first. So for me to do so, let me go back to this and I'll come to this packages and look for the passports here. So this is what I'm going to be using for our APIs. The school and put a lot of stuff here about the passport. So we're going to focus on how to install the passport package, the passport Laravel package. So this is how we want to install. It's a PHP artisan install, blah blah blah. So we're not going to follow that. Then we're going to use the composer to require this. Let's open our project here. We can come here and search for our project, which is this, and let's just open it in our VS Code, drag and put it here. So this is it here currently. So we're going to go to terminal here. So we're going to install the Laravel passport. So we're going to use composer require Laravel passports. As far as it, hope no typo. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to do to install the Laravel passport package, because that's what we're going to make use of. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pause this video for it to install, and after that I'll come back. Okay, it's already installing, it's very fast, so let's just continue. No need to pause it, let's just continue. Sure. Okay, still taking some time though. Okay guys, as you can see, it has finished installing. So what we're going to do next is we're going to run our migration now. So before we run our migration, I want to show you guys something. If you come to your .env file here, come to this database part, as you can see it already have a database name here. So if I go to my XAMPP and MySQL and open the admin here, so let me close this, things up, close this. If I come here, you can see I have the various databases here, but currently this database does not exist. So I have two options: is that I create it manually, or I allow Laravel to help me create it later on. So I'll show you how to do that now. So let me just run my migration, PHP artisan migrate. As you can see, say when database does not exist, would you like to create it? Yes. So this is what I wanted to do. I'm going to create that now. As you can see, it has what my migration table has what it has run successfully. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to use our PHP artisan passport install. Okay, would you like to run up pending migration? Yes. So we've successfully installed passports package. So we are going to make use of this passport package. We have successfully installed that. So what we are going to do next, remember we already have our project running here. So I'm going to close this here. I'm going to close this. I can close this, and I'll come to this place and let me create another one here. So this here I'm going to do my PHP artisan save here. As you can see, it's already saving, so I can come here now and run this again. This should work fine. As you can see, it's working very fine here. So having done that, so what we're going to do next is we're going to come to our model here, so the user's model. So I'm going to make use of what if you come to this stuff here, they show you how you are going to make use of the passport, the Laravel passport package, and one of it includes using what your has API token. So just copy that as API token and add it to this thing here. Add API token and command. So we're going to import this as use, not import. Now I'm going to use it up here like so. So that's that. So we fixed this already. So next we are going to do is the config, then the auth. So you come down this thing also. We are going to make use of this here in what the guard part. So come down here after the web here, go down and place this there. So that's so basically that's what we are going to, that's what we need currently. So if we come back to our routes folder, as you can see, we have the web here, but for the API we currently don't have what the API route. So we're going to create an API route here now. We'll create an API route here. So we'll just come here and make a new file and call it api.php. So yeah, api.php. So after doing so, we go to provider, app service provider, this place here. We are going to register the api.php route we just created. We are going to register it here now. So what we are going to do is I'm going to say routes, so we can import this, then middleware. So it's going to be API. So the prefix, I'm going to add some prefix to it. Prefix will be API2, then group, option will be what base parts. We should be this parts here, the parts where your file is this very file here, which is what routes slash API. So that's that. So we have routes here. Okay, we have routes here. Okay, so after that, what we are going to do next is we are going to come to the API route. So we are going to work creating our routes here. We're going to making our routes here. So before we make our route, we are going to first of all create our controllers. So we're going to create our controllers first before we start making our route. So let's come over here. Let's create our host controller, which is PHP. That is make controller. So let's put it in API slash auth controller. Let's do this. Okay, what is that? Okay, there's an error somewhere here. Okay, where's error coming from? Okay, it says something does not exist here. Am I using routes here? Of course I'm using the routes. Okay, let's see what's wrong here. Okay, so I think I'm using it wrong. I'm not supposed to be using these routes, so it should be routes. So this is what I should use. Okay, this. So let's try this again. Let's try this again. Okay. Oops, there's a mistake here, typo. Middleware, yeah, MXDLE. Okay, so let's do this again. So what's the problem? Okay, routes, base paths, routes. Is that okay? Let me just copy this thing here. Let me just copy this. Okay, paste this here. There. Oops, I didn't put PHP here. Okay, that should save. That should be the right thing. So let's run this again. As you can see, it has what created our auth controller. So these are what's our auth controller here. So we can go back to route now. Before we go to our route, let's create some stuff here. So first we are going to do is what we are going to create the register controller to register what a new user. So we are going to what? So I'm going to do so by what's coming here and creating what's the public. Let's say public function. Let's call this register. So for this register, we're going to create a request here now. So we're going to come to this place here. So we're going to create a request here in your folder. Let's call it requests. So I'm going to create the register what request now. So in the folder, let's call this auth. Then let's add this auth now. I'm going to create a auth in new file. Let's go register .php. So this now. So because once you use this register requests here, so let's create a class. Let's call this register requests. Form requests. Then yeah, I'm going to use the namespace now. Let's get this first, but I'm going to delete this. So for this now, we're going to use form requests. So that's that for that. So I'm going to come down here now. So let's create a public function here. Public function. Authorize. So it's going to return true. Then function. We're going to create the rules here now. This so I'm going to return array of name. So I'm going to put the rules here now. So it's going to be name is going to be required, then it's going to be a string. Name is going to be a string, then it's the maximum of 255 characters. So also I'm going to be having email also is going to be required, then it's going to be a string, then going to be email and max still 255, then also it's going to be unique in the user's table. Then I'm going to have password of course will be required, then it's going to be a string, then minimum min would be 8, let's say 8. So this is going to be our rules we are going to use for our registration. So now let's go back to the auth controller. So we're going to make use of that register requests. Is correct. Sorry, oops, there's a mistake here. So let me bind this again. Okay, I think restart requests. So what we're going to do next is we're going to make use of this. So let's check if what we're doing is correct. You have app HTTP. We have requests, and then we have bots. So here also we have okay. So that's that. Let's check which are saying. Okay. I think there might be a typo here. So I think there's an error here. let me just copy this and paste it here, then come here and also copy it and paste it here. Okay, see that, okay, that's, so there was a typo here before then. What I'm going to do next, I'm going to write logic to register a user now. So let's do that first. So let's come here. So let's create a new user. Let's use try to catch our error. Try catch. Yeah. So let's do this. Yeah. Exception. This, okay. So let's log error first. Let's log the error. I just put a string here and say error on the registration. Let's put this here. Registration. So we're going to bring out the error here. Let's see. Then we're going to get the message. Okay, this should help. So let's go back to this try now. Let's put in a logic to register the new user. Let's put this one. Let's put in this. So first we are going to do, let's create an instance of a new user. It should be equal to the user model. User model. Then we are going to create so the first thing is the name. Let me just cut and duplicate this because before I duplicate, let me just do this first. Request name. So when I can cut and duplicate now, the name, this will be email, and this will be password. Okay. So the password is going to be hashed. We're going to change this to email, then we're going to hash this password. I'm going to hash this. I'm going to hash this. So that will do for that. So after doing that, we're going to generate token for this user. So for us to do so, we're going to make a use of the passport authenticate or the passport package we installed back then. So we're going to make use of the passport package we used there. So we're going to create a private function here. Private function. Let's call this generate token. Let's call it generate token. So we're going to be making use of the user model. User okay, like so. So I'm going to return the generated token now. I'm going to say okay, the user. I'm going to create the token. So let's put anything we like there. Access token. So in this place here, we can just say okay. You can say the user email. user email like so. We can do this, or let's just say, okay, let's call this web API token. Okay, we can do this also. So after doing this, now we can come back to our register controller and what use this word generate the token for the user here. I use the generate token. We can say token would now be equal to this generate token. I will be passing the user. I will generate the token. Then we're going to return the response. Return response. Okay, I think there's a mistake here. Oops, what am I doing? Response. So JSON response. So what are we returning? We're returning a message, okay, to show the user that they were registered successfully first. Registration successful. Okay, that's the first. So next, we are going to return is the token. So the user can further use this on the app later. We're going to return the token. Then we are going to return the user data. User should be this user. So that's that. But if there is an error, we are going to return the response. Okay, this will be, let's give this to 1. Let's use user created instead. User created successfully. So we can just duplicate this here and change this to let's just say message an error code during registration. Please try again later. So we can make this 500. Error status code should be 500. Then we're going to remove this. We need to return the user. So this is what we are going to do for to register a user. So what we're going to do next, we are going to come to our API here and create the routes. So I'm going to create the routes here. Okay. So we'll be creating the API routes now. So to make our work much more faster, I'll just paste this because I already have this. So I'll just paste this. So this is our post request in our routes, then controller, then the name here. So let me close this and let me close this. So I'm going to test to see if this is currently working. I'm going to use Postman. Let me open my Postman. So I'm going to make use of my Postman. So let me just wait for it to load up. Okay, I'm going to close this. Okay, I don't need this to close, so okay, not bad. I'm going to copy this now. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. API register. I'm just going to remove this data first, then try and run and see. Okay, as you can see, it means this is working fine. It's working fine currently, so I'm going to undo this. We don't need this actually, so let me just strand. And try and use this and see. Okay, so there's an error is showing. It said bad method validate required does not exist. So let's check where this is coming from. Let's go to this and logs. Let's clear the logs first. Let's clear up this log and let's run this again. Okay. Okay, let's check our requests and see what we're doing wrong. So we have to check what's wrong. There's a typo here actually, which is this. Still required. I was having required here before, so we can clear up this log again and let's try and run this again. As you can see, it's working correctly now. So there was a typo before, so let me just put the correct password now and run this again. As you can see, user was created successfully, so the token has been generated and the user data has been brought out successfully. So that's that for the registry to register the user. So next we are going to look at now, which let me just give up this thing. So next what I'm going to do now is we are going to go straight out towards to register a user with the Google auth. That's to use the Gmail, that's Google Mail, so register a user. So for us to do so, let me just come back here. Let me create a new route. Let me call this Google sign in. Google sign in. Let me call that Google sign in. So let me just come here and say record this Google sign in. So I will create a function now. Yeah. So it's going to be a public function. So before we continue this, we are going to install some packages. So let me come back to our browser. So one of these packages we are going to install is we're going to go to git.com / just put in this crates. slash Laravel Firebase. I'm going to make use of Firebase. So I'm going to be installing this. So I'm going to make use of Firebase. So let's come back here. Let's open this terminal. So I'm going to copy this and come here and paste that there. So I'm going to make use of this Firebase to enable the user to be able to sign in with their Gmail. So they can log in with their credentials, that's their email and password. So they can also sign up with their Gmail directly without having to put in all the email and password by themselves. So that's what we're going to be doing in this very part now. So let me pause this video for this thing to install. So once it installs, I'll come back and continue. So guys, it has finished installing. So we're going to make use of that stuff here now. So let's just come here. Let's come to this place. Okay, let's put our request first. Request so I'm going to create an ID token. ID token will be equal to the requests, then token. So what we're going to do is we're going to initialize Firebase here now. Let's initialize Firebase, which is creating a variable. Let's call it auth, and this auth will be equal to new factory. So this will be factory. We are using to create Firebase. This then what we're going to do next is, if you come back here and you read through this documentation, so you have to set up this the parts in your .env file, right? So let me just copy this and come back to my .env file. Come here and put it here. But this is going to be my parts. So I'm going to put it in my public, then Firebase slash the name of the file. So the name of the JSON file, that's what's going to be next. So we'll come back here now. I've done that, so I'll just say with service account, actually service accounts. So this service account would have more my base parts of this part of this guy. So I'm going to put another thing. Create the auth now. Create auth. So that's for initializing Firebase. So next we are going to verify the token. So let's create a new variable. Let's call this verified ID token. Let's call it ID token will be equal to my auth, then let's call it verify to ID token. What will be here is this my ID here. My ID will be here now, and let's close this. So I'm going to extract whatever we're getting here. I'm going to be extracting them now. claims equals to, then we're going to extract them. So email will be equal to claim then gets what's the email? This email, so like so. So I'm going to cut this and just paste it 3 times. This will be name, and here too will be name. Then last one I'm going to call it what? Firebase UID. Just move this small letter. Looks like this. So Firebase UID will what is. I'm going to get the sub. So like so. So now what we're going to do is we're going to what? So the thing is, what we want to do is one decision whereby this same logic can be used for registration and also to sign in. That's for sign up and sign in. That's login and register using what? The Google Mail, the Gmail. So instead of using this here, remember we did our user create here. So we're going to be using a different thing now. We're going to say user equal to the user model. Then we're going to say first or create rules like so. So we're going to do like this. So the thing is, it's going to check if the data already exists. If it exists, it's going to what? Just continue and send in the user. That's logging the user. But if it does not exist, it's going to what? Create the user, then log the user in. You get? So like this. Then the first thing is we're going to say, okay, after doing this, we'll have email would be the email now. I will now have, then I want to have the name to be, the name will now have then at the Firebase UID. I'm going to create this column in our database because we currently do not have it. Firebase UID. Then I want to have a password, a default password actually. I want to have a default password for the user. We're just going to hash something random for the user. Let's just use like so. So like this. So what we're going to do now, we're going to, after all these things, we are going to generate the token like we did before. Let me just go up and copy this so I don't have to repeat myself actually. So I'll just copy this and paste this here. So I can we can now return the response. We can return this now. So instead of user created, we do logged in successfully. So it's going to be this, and okay, we are going to return the user like this. Okay, then Okay, we didn't use try here, so as to also let's just use a try, so we can cache any error that there is. So I can just move this up and also just copy this cache, put the cache here, set it here, the cache like so, and so this should work fine. So this should work fine. Okay, it should work fine. So let's just try and do a test, though it might not actually work, because it can actually work, but let's just come here and do this. Let's just send this. Okay, so you can see it brought out this error. Let's see what that error is about. As you can see this file does not exist. This file does not exist. So this file does not exist because currently, okay, let's check this again. This part, so because of course it does not exist currently. Let me just create this now. So let's come to public and let's create the folder. So I'm going to do something. So I've created the folder and I've done this also. Let's run this again. It's still going to be same error, but I need a different message actually. Okay, as you can see, invalid was set that can defy that is not what's readable, because this currently there is no file here. So let me just, okay, yeah, there's no file here actually, because we know what connected our database, Firebase to this stuff here. So that's so what we're going to do next is we are going to create our connect our Firebase actually. But for us to do so, we have to create our Flutter projects. Yeah, we have to create our Flutter projects.